So we're getting into the person to person with the late, great Kobe Bryant. Kobe Jelly Bean Bryant. Kobe was the 13th pick in the 1996 NBA draft. Traded to the Lakers by the Hornets. He was a 5-time NBA champion, 2-time Finals MVP, 1-time MVP. Probably should have been about 2 or 3. 18-time All-Star, 11-time NBA first team, 11-time All-NBA first team, 9-time All-NBA defensive first team. Averaged about 25 points per game for his career, 5.2 rebounds, 4.7 assists. Now, for all of us who are Kobe fans and Laker fans or just people who admired Kobe, we all know about the Mamba mentality. And honestly, to this day, which hasn't been long, but honestly, I try to apply that when I think about my own career in entertainment, comedy, podcasting, stuff like that. Thinking about how to keep working at your craft. Maybe not so much that I'm in competition with others, but that I'm in competition with myself. Trying to compete with myself. The Mamba mentality makes me think that myself is my real rival. The side of me that says the doubt. We all have that doubting voice that says, you can't do this. Don't do this. You're a fool for doing that. I try to combat that with, you're doing this. Look at how far you came. Don't worry about who says what. It's all about the process and trying to fulfill your own life, because we only have one life to live, right? And, Kobe was a guy who was on top of his game, won an Academy Award, stepped out of basketball and won an Academy Award for Best Short Animated Film. Who wins an Academy Award out of basketball? Out of sports. People go from sports, and most of the time they stay in sports. If they get into the arts, it's not at that high of a level. People spend their whole lives working on their artistic craft and never even get nominated for an Academy Award. Never even get a chance to work with some entity that would even allow them to be in that realm of Hollywood or entertainment or whatever, right? Obviously, Kobe Bryant, being a Laker in LA, his career set him up to be able to work with the best, but it was his work ethic, I believe, that people in other fields admired him so much that they will be open to conversation with him when he says that, now I want to do this, because they knew how hard he worked at basketball. So they probably had no doubt that he would work just as hard in his next ventures. So he won an Academy Award, now Kobe Bryant was very mentally strong. He did go through some trials in his life, ran into some turbulence, back in 2003, 2004, I believe, with the whole entire situation when he cheated on his wife and the accusation of raping that woman in Colorado. And you know what? It was the charges were dropped. His wife accepted his apology. I seen in an interview, he talked about how God helped him get past that situation, being strong for him when he couldn't be strong himself. So, I believe that situation is what really possibly created the Mamba, because diamonds are created by pressure. And what can be more pressure than having to play in the NBA at a high level when everybody knows your dirty laundry? Everybody knows about your household and how it's going through trying times. So I possibly think that when he went through that and he went past that struggle, that's when he became the Mamba. And also Kobe Bryant was celebrated all around the country. I mean, all around the world. I remember seeing documentaries about how people in China loved him, and his jersey was like the number one selling jersey, and he'd go to China and all these Chinese kids were freaking screaming, Kobe, Kobe. And he was just waving and smiling. And we've seen him have all kinds of camps. And now when they look back at those camps, we see some of the all kinds of camps for young basketball players in high school. And we look back at those camp videos, and some of the people are Klay Thompson and DeMar DeRozan and Booker and Devin Booker, Steph Curry. I mean, he's helped out so many generations of kids who are now professionals themselves, adults, that his legacy trajectory will go far beyond what we can even process. So, I mean, the man lived a life that most men dream of, a life of fulfillment. Unfortunately, earlier this year, he was in the plane crash, the helicopter crash over there in Calabasas on a really foggy morning. I live in Southern California, Garden Grove, Orange County, maybe about 40 minutes outside of LA. And the fog was very, very intense that day, I recall. And immediately when I heard about the crash, I thought to myself that the fog had to have something to do with it. Also, I kind of hoped it wasn't real, obviously. I mean, not kind of. I hoped it wasn't real. Hoped it was one of those celebrity hoax. And then, you hear about he was with his family, and then you hear he was only with his daughters, and then you hear he was only with one daughter, which is still very, very unfortunate. But the devastation that we were feeling as people, I'm sure some of you listening and hearing, the devastation, the frustration, the confusion, as Twitter and TMZ were posting new information. And then you find out that there was other little girls on that plane, on the helicopter, on their way to a basketball game with their parents. I believe in total 9 people died that day. Very unfortunate, but it shows you how short, how unforgiving life can be, But that's why either you believe in something past this, or you think that it's just lights out. I don't try to judge. I don't try to harp on nobody. You do you. But look at the late, great Kobe Bryant. A man who did so much. A daughter so young and precious. And still, fate came for them. And we can only pray that they're in heaven right now.